If you took hair off of Todd's face and head, you would have a dildo with ears. So your mom would like that. In heaven, when God said come forth for brains, Todd came fifth. What? I don't know what's worse, watching FaceTime with Todd Wharton or doing the twist after eating a big bowl of chili and having IBS at the same time. That is nasty. If Will Ferrell and Channing Tatum had a baby and raised it to be a talk show host who's constantly getting STDs, it would be Todd. Man, that's fucked up. I purposely lowered my hearing aid because the sound of Todd's voice makes me want to take a shit. Who the hell's sending these tweets?
Only taking a beating on this show.
Yeah, it's hard to feel sorry for him. We take a beating every show.
We'll be right back with Arnstar. Stick around. Welcome back. So tonight my guest is a hip-hop artist that you've probably seen on Wild 'N Out and also Growing Up Hip-Hop. He's also to the brother of Little Mama and the son to the legendary Kippy D of the Rock Steady crew, along with being a public speaker and a community activist. Why don't we check out a clip?
This season on Growing Up Hip Hop New York, you might get to see my personal side, a lot of things that matter to me. You know, my family, Little Mama, of course, that's my sister, my friends, and just who I am outside of the music, outside of the entertainment world.
Told you was gonna come with some heat. Now go give him a backpack. Just make sure you don't expose where he hide his snack sack. This the day that your life changed. Pick the black G-Wagon or the white range. I know that choice sound quite strange. Don't worry, came from doing the right things. All debts paid back, nobody slain. Finances are art drawings on a cave. This a way that the good Lord made. I know a ship coming with a brand new wave.
Please welcome to the show, Arnstar.
My guy. Todd.
Dude, are you getting a haircut?
Yes, sir. You already know. Denny Mo's Barbershop. Greatest place you can come. Get your life together in.
All right, so, bro, first of all, Arnstar, welcome to FaceTime with Todd Wharton, man. How you doing, brother?
All is well, King. Super glad and appreciative to be in the building. Great energy. You know, we getting refreshed. Shout out Denny Mo's. You know what I mean? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good as always, man. Just getting the show on the road, popping it up, getting these guests in there, man. We are booked all the way through August, so I'm pretty blessed right now with that. So it's pretty crazy what's going on. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, are you getting the Kid and Play hot top haircut going on right now? Is that what you're doing?
Let me see. Live and direct from the trouble scene. You about to get hit with the double team. First up is a brother that's all that from the wrong side of the tracks. But that don't mean I don't know what time it is in the rapping and rhyming biz. I ain't no quitter.
All right.
I'm the home run hitter. Woo.
Okay. I see you got a little bars in there. You must be some from family where you guys can do a little something on the ones and twos and the mics and the whole nine. But before we get into that, I want to get into something that I think is pretty important because you're a young man, and I've known you beforehand through Cartier. So first of all, big ups to Cartier Conway for plugging us up for the interview. But I also want to talk about something that's dear to my heart. I met you in an unfortunate circumstance where I believe it was like a 2 or 3 year old kid got murdered in the projects, and it was pretty much uncalled for. And we need a lot of young people like yourself to come out in the woodworks and speak. How close to home was this to you when that happened? What was the meaning behind it for you?
Well, first of all, it's in my hometown, Harlem, New York. It's never a good time to see a child that's close to 10 years old murdered in their own home. That's never a good look. Like, it just changes the energy in any space when you speak about it, because to even have such atrocity take place in any circumstance, in any environment, a crime against a child is a crime against God. And children are the youth. The youth is the promise that the future of the world is coming to fruition. So when a child passes away, period, it's never a good day. And so for somebody to deliberately cause that to take place, that's just heart-wrenching within itself. But some of the most darkest things give us the opportunity to shine the brightest light, if that's what we intend to do with ourselves.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% because I was there because I'm a civil rights activist, so I was asked to go there. I pretty much stood in the background because I always talk about this. I hate when people go to civil rights rallies or protests that have meaning. There's a reason why we're there, right? But everybody wants to get on the mic. Everybody wants to say something, and because a lot of people go there for the wrong reasons, right? And I see it happen all the time. My thing is, and I always tell people, if you're going to go to peace rallies, you're going to go to protests, go there for the meaning of why you're there. Don't go there for the camera. Don't go there for the spotlight. And don't try to get on the mic unless the person that's running it asks you to come on because they feel you have something to say. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Not to be too spiritual, but there's something that Christ has said about sitting at the lowest table and waiting to be invited up because you would be embarrassed for somebody else to come that's scheduled to be there, and you have to now go from the high seat to the low seat. So always, even think great of yourself, think high of yourself, but always have the understanding that it's up to you to be humble and wait to be called to the front, especially when you know that there's something going on that it's not about you at the end of the day. If you're called, that's a blessing. But other than that, humility is knowing the impact that you have without having to show everybody every time, all the time.
Yeah, 100% agree. You're a pretty well-spoken kid, man. You educated. You be reading them books lately. Is that what you're doing? Because you sound better than me right now.
Nah, I'm learning from you, honestly speaking. You out here, you got your show, you got everything going. Like, I'm just paying attention and sharing my awareness that I have. And I read books. I watch like hours of YouTube videos looking to find the truth. I come from a dark past. My dad, not to jump, I know you're going to talk about it, but
no,
he was
let's talk
killed
about
before I was born. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And thank God that my mother was pregnant with me when she was, because if she wasn't, this wouldn't be happening. So, from such tragedy, I look for answers in life. I'm like, what is life about? That's been my question that's been driving me since I was like 5-6 years old, is what is life about?
Right.
I remember being in daycare and somebody getting picked up by their father, and I'm like, Ma, where's my father at? And she had to explain to me he's in heaven. So that to me made me go, oh snap, like there's so much things that I don't know about that I want to learn. So I'm just a student. And of course at this age now, I'm doing a lot of teaching as well, but I'll always be a student.
Right, and I love that you're saying that. It's funny you say that student thing. I always tell people all the time, you can't be a teacher if you stop being a student. That goes for all. It goes for all professions. Like psychologists go to psychologists. Like attorneys go to attorneys to speak. It's the same thing. Public speakers listen to other public speakers, because sometimes that person could say one line that you're not going to plagiarize, but you can take that message and put it into your message. And, if people don't believe in that, then my attitude is, and stop repeating the words of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all these other great people if you don't believe in it, because we do it every day. So, and I've heard those guys like crazy. Sorry. So, when you were talking about your dad, which I found out at the Universal Hip Hop Museum where I reconvened with you, I honestly did not know that your dad was Kippy D from the Rocksteady Crew. And sorry, I got like a bug in my throat. I don't even know what that is. So I got some more.
I call it like I don't know, like it seems to happen every time it's time to go on camera. Something always,
all the time. It's like that one bug just sits in there and he's like, yeah, I'm about to screw with Todd, man.
They get right there, like, let me show you that life is being lived. You can't be
right here. And I haven't been eating on anything nasty, so I
I've been to a bunch of interviews where I'm like, yeah, because life is and I turn into an emotional moment just to get it out, and then I'm like, yeah, yeah, sorry about
oh
that. I didn't
man,
mean to, but I feel you though. We here for you.
we are here, we are here. But I've asked you it on a separate interview, but let's talk about some of the people that are here. Universal Hip Hop Museum was such an historic day, and for those who weren't there, you missed out on something. And a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't get invited. Listen, everybody knew about it. All right. So there were people that just showed up. There were legends there. There were old timers there from the Supersonic Force, all the way up to LL. And you were there. And I've never been in a place where there was so much love when it came to hip hop. And there must have been, God, I think at least 100 people there that are known. What was your feeling as a young entrepreneur and hip hop artist per se, to literally sit in a room with the people that are really responsible for opening up all the musical doors that you have in front of you of today?
Man, that's like you ever struck gold, or you ever like imagine what heaven would look like? That was like hip hop heaven, to have so many people there active in the space that paved the way, that really were figuring out what hip hop is. Like hip hop was a coined phrase, but really was being hip hop. In order for you to even come and emulate and pick up and take the torch, you sitting there with people like man, I can't even think of no name. Well, Sway.
Oh, you had
but like
MC Globe, Sway, Soul Sonic Force, Debbie D.
Debbie D. That's what I was thinking about, trying to get her name. Like I'm learning as I'm going, so I'm thinking Roxanne Shante, but then Debbie D is also in the mix with it as well. So like I said, I'm still a student learning. That's what I go for. I go to make sure that I recognize and honor my living ancestors, the people who are still alive right now. I don't want to read about you in a book. I want to be able to tell my kids and my grandkids, y'all shook the hands of some of the greatest of all time that started hip hop, that even gave me the essence of it. Like, rest in peace, Cicely Tyson, right? She paved the way that would pave a way for hip hop to come. She shook my hand when I met her. I never thought I would even be in the same room as her, for her to even stick her hand out and touch mine. So I feel like that's a spiritual transfer. So when you're in a room with people and they speaking and they exchanging their energy with you, that's a spiritual transfer. So I feel like I'm not obligated, but I'm in an opportunity space to carry the true nature of the culture of hip hop. So I take that very seriously, and I'm like a kid in a candy store at the same time.
Oh yeah, you had to be now, and you didn't even see their first ceremony before the reception that you were at. The first ceremony was crazy because you had Mayor de Blasio, you had LL, you had Nas, Fat Joe, Grandmaster Flash, Chuck D. I mean, crazy amount of monster hip hop guys, and they were cool. They were all cool. They were humble. They were loving the fact that this is finally being built, right? 10 years. And I want to set the record straight. This museum is not for legends. This museum is for all hip hop that are going to make a transcend difference, from the legends and the pioneers to the 80s artists, to the 90s, to the 2000s, to the two. Like, people need to get this right. This is not for pioneers. This is for all hip hop. This is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for hip hop, which means if Arnstar keeps doing his thing and he starts really, really popping, you're going to see his picture in the Hall of Fame in probably about 20 years from now. And that, I guarantee you, because I'm going to be talking with Pete Nice next week from Third Base, who's actually the head curator of that museum with Paradise Gray. So that may be an interview you might want to watch also, because those are the two guys to get in touch with about that.
There you go. There you go. I see you got him coming. I see you got Big Daddy Kane. Honestly speaking, Big Daddy Kane is one of my biggest inspirations, because he was one of the first people I saw that was able to be very barry but still slick and party going. Like, It wasn't like all just about straight bars and metaphors and being on top of your rap game. It was that and having a good time and performing. Like he would really give a great show. He's an all-around performer. That's who I am. I'm an all-around performer. I'm a spitter. I'm a lyricist. I make songs. I dance. All of it. Like, so, you know, shout out Big Daddy Kane. I just got to do that because that's my guy right there.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to interview him because I haven't yet met him yet, and I can definitely tell you're a little Big Daddy Kane because you look like you look like the younger version of Big Daddy Kane right now, bro. You got that little stash going on, you got the stage, you got the talent. I see you, bro. I see you, and everybody that's on here, making sure you're sharing this live interview because these are the interviews that drop facts, and we have fun doing this. Now, during the promo that I did for this week. There's a video that I chose for your clip, and I love the video because it was with you and your sister. And the reason why I wanted to show it, a lot of times in music, a lot of times people don't know, but family members a lot of times don't work with each other. For some reason, they don't want to know each other. I don't know what that's all about. But when I saw the song that you did, We Outta Here, and it was with you and Little Mama, who's your big sister. What was the inspiration behind that song, We Outta Here? What does that actually mean? I have a feeling, but what does that mean to you?
It's very self-explanatory in the hook. So the hook goes, we outta here. When the next level call your name, and it's more than the clout and fame. And you peep the game, and you realize it's about to change, and nothing's not the same. We outta here. That means whatever it is that you feel like was supposed to be your pathway to get into your greatness, it's changing, and it's up to you. You could create your own pathway. Like, just like you said, you don't see a lot of family members working together in the industry, right? And in its right standings, every person is responsible for their own walk. So where some people are like born into nepotism, there's other people who are fighting for their own voice, regardless of the fact of who they're connected to. You know, one of the people that I respect, one of the two beings I respect the most is Jaden and Willow Smith, because they come from two great stars. And not for nothing, when you're born from two great stars, you have a lot of immense of pressure to try to stay up and be as great and do things as great. And that could be crippling if you don't gain your wherewithal or your own sense of like starlight within yourself. So me and my sister is more of a, you know, we did everything together. Me, my older two brothers, her, and myself being the last one born from my mom, we made sure we looked out for each other regardless. So when it came to like giving your own personality into the industry, it was more of a conscious choice to go, hey, I'm gonna take this route over here because I see something going on with this culture. And I know you already got the spotlight, so I'm gonna build this up. I'm gonna work with Light Feet. I'm not going to necessarily say that we're together, but we know that, so that doesn't matter about anything else. And if you know, you know. The people that know us know what's up. If you don't know, then you don't need to know. It's like until you find out, until it's that time. But other than that, you know, that's our spew. That's what that's our approach, and it worked beautifully. Because now at this point, some people are like, yo, what? You got a crazy feature. And other people are like, wow, we've been waiting for y'all to work together forever. So there's so much to talk about, and there's so much to celebrate at one time.
Yeah, and I love that about you guys, which is very cool. And one of my other favorite songs you did was actually with Cartier Conway. You know, it's called We Got Something in Common. And I was laughing with him because I'll be honest with you, that's on my playlist, believe it or not. Like, yeah, man, that if you guys don't know about the song, Something in Common, Cartier and Arnstar, yeah, that is the song. That's the song where I'm telling you, like, I don't care if it's 2 years old, that song should be bumping in the car. You know, I go up to a girl and be like, yo, we got something in common, girl, what's up? You know, it's like,
you feel me?
I love it.
Nah, yeah, that's my guy, Cartier, tap dance extraordinaire. Youth activist, you know, it just made a lot of sense. We good friends. We always work together, so it was a good bop. So I appreciate the song.
Yeah, of course, of course. So to get into your hip hop career, did you feel that you were kind of obligated to get into hip hop, or was it something that you always wanted to do since you've been a kid?
It was more of a discovery, like even going off of my dad and trying to find out who he is. He only lived to about 22, 23, so most of his
Yeah.
life went towards the culture. He's one of the first East Coast poppers, one of the first representatives of the culture with swag, um, vocal ability, and movement. And so I'm trying to find out who he is, and looking for him, I ran into hip hop. And so I started really getting into the roots and the culture of how hip hop began. And it really fascinated me of where it actually came from versus
Right.
what it looked like now. And I could see the clear difference. And I was just like, I think there's something here with the beginning of it. And I want to see my dad. I want to see my pops. I want to see what he was up to. Is there any footage? Is there anything? And the more I kept looking for him, the more information and the more knowledge I was getting. So I was like, yo, this joint is fire. I think I'm going to just keep this, bring this type of energy to the Light Feet movement, and start my own legacy.
Yeah, and I love that. And if you're looking for information and knowledge, this show alone is going to bring you so many people you've probably never met that are going to drop so much science on what you want to learn from Angie Stone. We got Sequence, first hip hop female group ever on Friday. That's an interview you don't want to miss. And then next week, it's not just music. We know dance is a huge part of hip hop, like your dad, because we have Normski coming on. But I was able to get a hold of Turbo from Breakin', and he's going to be on the same interview. So that's somebody who I think a lot of people are going to want to talk to, because like you said, and what a lot of these millennials need to do, when you get into any type of industry, right, when you study law, when you become a doctor, part of your curriculum is to learn about the past doctors and the medicines and the past attorneys and the laws and everything else. And what I noticed in hip hop, and T Money from Yo MTV Rap said it best, right? He said, this is the one genre that the majority of the millennials have no idea about where hip hop came from, what it stands for, what it means. And if they knew that, he felt that their words would be more meaningful than just all about twerking. Because it seems like that's where part of it is going. Not all of it, but some of it. So I appreciate people like you that are really stepping up to the plate and making good music, but realizing where it came from. Never forget where you came from, but just take your legacy and just make it even better, which I think would be great, which is great. You were on some cool shows, man, and we got to talk a little bit about that. You know, people will kill me if I didn't. Let's talk about Wild 'N Out. How did you even get involved with that? Because that is a funny, hilarious show to watch.
So, Wild 'N Out, how Wild 'N Out came about was, first of all, like, if you know me, you know I'm a funny person. Like, I always make jokes. I'm very, like, light energy. It's my balance to my, spiritual side, or like the seriousness of like unveiling things. It's just, as serious as life is as funny as it is. And if you don't catch that paradox, you're gonna have a hard time on one way or the other. So basically, I didn't consider myself to be a comedian. I just love Nick Cannon, what he was doing. I appreciate him for being the type of impact that he is. And I just kept running into him. And one time I ran into him at a community event in Harlem. He was working with Radio Shack, and I was working with Life Camp. And I got there, we met. Well, actually, I met him a couple times, but this was the time where we actually linked. And he followed me from there. I performed, and he felt my energy. And, I let him know like how I feel about him. Like, yo, I appreciate you. I would love to work with you. Next thing you know, we had a record. One of my friends, Kid the Wiz, he had a record called Love Come Down, the remix. And it went viral. And we went to the show, chopped it up again. And one of my bros behind me was like, yo, I want to do Wild 'N Out. And he turned around to me and was like, we can make that happen. And I guess he must have thought it was me that said it. He hit me up, true to his word, later on, and was like, yo, come to the workshops. And if you get through the workshops, you valid. So that's what happened. I got there. I learned a lot. Shout out Carlos Miller, Chico Bean, DC Young Fly. A lot of great, cool energy, Conceited. A lot of great, everybody that's there, it's like they have their own like circle going because they've been there for a while, but they was very invited and loving, and I appreciate them.
Well, it's so cool that you're expanding your horizons, because one of the great things about artists, you can't just stick with one thing, right? You got to move all around the industries, from reality to TV to films. That's how you really build a business about what you love. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much you love your passion, and you have to be passionate when you're doing something, you also got to look at it as business, because you're going to survive from your passion. You got to make money. And the way to make money is to move around. You got to move, right? In all different industries. And you're doing this right now, which a lot of artists don't do, which is great. Now, something I do want to talk about, and I spoke to Dina Love about this because I wanted to get real with her. You were on Growing Up Hip Hop, right?
New York, Growing Up Hip Hop New York, yes.
Growing Up Hip Hop New York. Me and a lot of fans out there, we're feeling that a lot of these reality shows, when they first start, have a good meaning to it. But it's getting to the point where the writers and the producers are making it so ridiculous to the point of drama that it's like, this stuff doesn't go on every day. Like, if I get into a fight with somebody, I think the last time I got into a fight was probably like 8th grade, maybe longer. But it seems they make your stories into more than what it is. But were you uncomfortable about being on a show because it was you and your sister, knowing that whatever you talk about is going to be aired out literally to the world? So were you hesitant about talking about certain things, or you just like, screw it, this is us, let's do it?
Well, I was invited to come onto the show from my sister, and she was like, yo, I'm about to do the show. I want you to do it with me. And I was like, you know what? My personal standpoint is I wouldn't put myself in a line of danger, yet I wouldn't let you be somewhere and not protect you. You
Right.
feel me? That was my personal thoughts on it in the first beginning. I was like, reality show, I already know what it's going to turn into. So, but then I said, you know what? I don't think they've had an energy like myself, and there's no way I'm going to switch up who I am for nobody. So we just going to either have fun and they're going to capture what they need and put it out, or they're going to do exactly what they did and put us only in select times and select joint, because we gave them a lot of great footage. Everybody, Vina Love, Flavor Flav, his children, ODB, rest in peace, his children. We all gave them great footage, but they went with the stuff that, you know, looked like it was going to go into a drama field. And that's fine, because we understand that people are watching TV. But me, personally, I was more concerned about who was watching it and how it would continue a narrative that doesn't work. So I said, me being on the show is probably more better than putting somebody else there that would like show their ass. So it was a great experience for what it was.
Exactly. Yeah, and you were on some other stuff as well. You obviously did Ellen when Ellen's at her peak of her show, which must have been amazing to do.
Twice.
And you did that twice. Yeah, I mean,
twice.
If people haven't watched Ellen, you're missing out, because Ellen's such a humanitarian. Don't listen to all the hype that you hear on the news, but if you actually meet her, she's probably one of the sweetest women out there, which is great. So it's an honor for you that you were on that show, which is crazy. That's awesome. Congrats on that. And then you did a short part, I believe, in Roxanne, for the Roxanne and Shantae movie, right, which is great. And this is why I'm mentioning all this stuff, because I'm trying to tell people this kid's moving, right? Once you do, I just spoke to this guy Begets today, who we just popped up. Begets is in the new Tiffany Haddish video coming out, right? And he said something that's real smart. He's like, Todd, I'm so humbled that I'm in her video, that's my girl. She did 2 videos with me. But I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm popping right now. You know the way I look at it? I did the video. I'm humble. Now it's on to the next step. Now it's on to the next one. And he's like, in this game, you got to keep it moving, because the minute you stop, it's the minute your heart stops, because your life stops. Right? You like that, right? All right, you can use it. I got you. So you kept mentioning Lightfoot, and I want to get to that because that's kind of important. You created a group from a dance culture out of Harlem called Waffle, all right? Explain the acronym behind that and the roots of it and why you developed this type of group.
Understood. I just want to be clear, first and foremost, I did not create the group. Shout out to Andrew Saunders, aka Goofy Kid. He created Waffle. It
Right.
stands for We Are Family for Life Entertainment. We started in
Right.
2011. I came in 2014 and been carrying the mantle ever since, as far as like being a great representative. I love my brothers. It's from a culture that I grew up in, that I started with and pioneered, called Light Feet, Litefeet. A trend of dance styles, or rather a trend of dances that became a dance style out of Harlem, and now is in over 30 plus countries from 2006, 2007, its first inception, which is inspired by its big brother, which is the Harlem Shake and Harlem club music. When you hear names like Boogie Black or Will Trax or Voice of Harlem, you know, these are people who kept the club rocking with just a voice and the certain tempo that we kept and a certain infectious energy. So Waffle is really a group of young men coming together, and instead of competing against each other, we said we could do better as a team, and take our dancing from just the streets to the train, and then from the train to the stages, and now from the stages to the world.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And we're talking about a lot about your past, because you, for some of you, how old are you right now? 25? 24?
I just turned 30 this year.
Man, you ain't dirty. You look damn 15, man. I don't want to hear it. You do. Well, congratulations on reaching a new milestone, because 30 is the new 10. No, I was playing.
Nah, I feel
30.
you. And 30 is the new
Yeah,
20 when
30
Hov said it. So now it got to be. Shout out Crazy Legs in the comments. I see you, Unc. Yes, original Rocksteady member. That man right there.
Oh, I see. All right. Crazy Legs boy. I think I follow him on Instagram. But yeah, congrats on that age. But let's talk about some stuff now. What do you have in the works right now that you're working on? Since COVID's up, things are starting to get back to a little bit back to normal. What are some of the things that you're working on now that some people may not know about?
Well, at this point, I'm gonna save that because that's brand new. I'm still auditioning, getting ready for movies. I still have my album that's available right now, Light Layers
Yeah,
Extended
talk about
Spectrum. And I'm actually going back into my culture and collaborating with a lot of youth that's starting to put their voice to work, and they want to transition from just dancing into like artistry and going to different spaces. So I'm getting ready to do some real close work with the youth, partnering with Guns Down Life Up, which is an organization out of the Bronx that I work closely with. And really, I'm just going to focus on like positioning myself as a youth leader. And I want to put together some excerpts, maybe not a book just yet, but like certain quotes and certain things that can help them like navigate their mental health at this time. But I put a lot of that into my music. So my album that just dropped is called Light Layers Extended Spectrum. And the inspiration behind that is we're all layers of light, giving off rays of light at different high volume frequencies and low volume frequencies. So my album is the extended spectrum, which the EP was just the layers themselves. It's 13 tracks, and each of them kind of touch in a space where everybody is living or something that is going on that's relevant to somebody's life. Even if the whole song doesn't resonate, it's something within a verse or a hook that you're gonna be like, nah, that right there is just that's so what I needed to hear right now. So I'm really focusing my efforts on my music and putting out some visuals behind it.
Which is great. Are you going to be doing some more like public speaking this year as well? Because you're a very well-spoken person. Like I said, when I met you at that, not really a rally, it was more, not a protest. It was more of a, I guess a neighborhood memorial of somebody who died, right? And you spoke amazingly. I haven't told you that when I saw you there, and I'm a public speaker, so I'm listening. Are you looking to do more of that as things start opening up more? Because we need more kids like you, and I'm calling you a kid because you're a young adult, right? 30 is the perfect age to really decide what you want to do, what you want to be, where you're going to go, and how you're going to get there. And 30 is a great age to be a public speaker, to speak to these young kids. Because I'm in my 40s, thank God I public speak around the country on civil rights and the whole nine, but millennials look up to guys like you because they're literally right there at the same age. Are you looking to do some more of that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's just who I am. Like whether it's public or private, that's my being. I share my being with everybody as far as what I feel, um, is inspired from the hidden sun within me. So basically, like, you know, more performances, more inspirational speaking, definitely more appearances on behalf of like serious matters, as well as things that are going to be entertaining and fun because you just need a balance. Like it's not one over the other. It's really a unique balance of like understanding the play of life and understanding that if you're not in your role and you don't know your lines, um, or you're not writing your own script, you will be utilizing somebody else's script. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun summer.
I think so too. I think so too. Speaking of fun, well, we can't really call it fun. Um, you have any views about what's going on right now? Because there's so much animosity in the world between politics, Black Lives Matter, civil rights, people being murdered. What is your take on this? I mean, I know my take, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous what's going on in the world right now. As a young black man, how do you see what's going on? Like, how is it affecting you personally as a young entrepreneur especially in New York City? Like, we're like the pinnacle of the world.
Well, you know, you go up and down because you see things that are like harmful, like very harmful on surface, and then you see the opportunity to make the shift after that. Like it's like if you get stuck on what happened, you can get knocked out of what's happening. And a lot of people react. And then most of the time, the things that you see are actions against you. And if you react, then you're actually doing the action that was acted against you. So you become what it is that was done against you. But when we learn to respond, which is very different from a reaction, a respond is a movement from within, inspired from within your own self and what it is that was given to you from your hidden teacher. Some people call it God, Allah, whatever it is you subscribe to. But your highest understanding is always going to guide you if you give it the permission to. If not, you're just going to be like, look at the world. Oh, my God, it's coming down. And it's like, yo, if you live like that, you're going to be a victim for the rest of your life. But if you recognize that things happen and you can happen back to it and you're happening to it, then you got to put yourself in a position to stay winning. So that's my mindset and my take on it.
Yeah, I love it. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, I live every day like it's a comedy. Like I'm a very serious person when I need to be. When I'm standing with Ben Crump, Keon, Gwen Carr, I'm serious. I'm standing there because these are my people. This is my human beings. This is my world. This is my brothers and sisters. It's got nothing to do with this. It has to do with this. And I'm serious with that. But one of the reasons why I do the show and everything else, I keep the comedic atmosphere because life has to be somewhat of a comedy. You have to enjoy it. You don't want to live through life where you're just tense all the time. You need to relax and step back and tell that man I said, what's up? Whoever you waving to, yo, what's up, man? You did my hair right. I got you. Check out the
that's
fade.
my family. They waiting for me, but they got to do what they got to do.
Nah, that's all right, man. We're about to get you out of here anyway. But, yeah, man, if you guys are listening out there, this kid's got a lot to say. But when it comes to life, guys, like treat life like you would treat your family, man. Treat it with respect. Have fun. Enjoy it. Smile more. Yeah, we cannot control the negativity that happens every day. We can try to deal with it. We can voice our opinions. But at the end of the day, there are billions of us out here going through it. And live your life, man. Have fun. Be the civil rights person. Be the humanitarian. But also be a human. Go out and have fun with your people. Have fun with your friends. Just have a good time. Also, where can people find you if they want to know more about your music and everything else you got going on right now?
Well, you could, we're on Instagram, so obviously, you could can follow me at Arnstar, Arnstar. If you on Twitter, it's official Arnstar. And yeah, like I'm here. I'm on social media. All socials is pretty much the same handle, and I'm available. I talk back. You may get me personally. You may get somebody on my team. It depends on who's controlling the social media handle at the time. But yeah, like, you know, I'm available. I'm not like shielding myself away from the world completely.
Yeah, and also you're a good dude, and you have a huge future ahead of you. And I don't want to hear you go quiet. I want to hear you loud and clear. And I think a lot of people here want to hear you loud and clear. So, brother, thank you for being on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. I appreciate you. And I'm definitely going to have you back when we get the studio audience thing going, because it's coming.
Let's
All
go.
right?
I'm excited.
I
Thank you
promise
for
you.
having me. And until next time, you already know.
You got it, guys. All right, take
Oh,
care,
listen,
What's up?
listen. I said pushing up and over the walls and obstacles. Got to keep it moving. Standing still is not optional. Pay the dues to the dudes that really rock with you. If you don't know what to do, just think of what I would do. Stack Fetty, feed your family. Every time I'm talking like this, man, they can't stand me. Never lied, never hide. All the great leaders in the world end up crucified, but time and time again it comes to an end. Different seasons for different reasons, just to begin. All over. The naked value of a strategy is realizing that it's all over, or should I say complete. People play to compete. This ain't a game. I entertain so my family can eat. A leader knows about resources, innovation. All it takes is applied knowledge, participation. There you go. Had to leave him with something.
I think you left them with a lot. So, guys, on behalf of myself and OnStar and those incredible, dope words, you guys have a great night. And always remember, if you're not living life with passion, then whose life are you living? We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Peace.
Such an inspirational young man right there. So stay tuned for tomorrow night as I'll be interviewing Papa Joe Amians, who's a two-time Amazon best-selling author, entrepreneur, health and wellness expert, and a recording artist. Guys, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And while you're here, you might as well subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for more information on the show, go to FaceTimeWithToddWharton.com.
What are you doing in there?
Ma, I'm shooting a promo. Why you always gotta ruin my flavor?